I'm Chris Story, live from On Top of the World. This is On Top of the World Radio. I want to do something about that. I see a need for something and I want to do something. Well, I'm busy. You're busy, right? I mean, it's a busy world we live in, and I don't care, what you do if you're working, retired. When my dad retired, he said, "Man, I don't know how I got everything done when I had a full-time job." We are busy people, and yet there are crises in our midst. There are things in our midst that we'd like to do something about. I'm Chris Story, and this is On Top of the World Radio. And now with me is somebody who saw something, said something, and is doing something. Her name is Crisi Matthews, and she is one of the organizers of HarborFest. Crisi, welcome to the Top of the World.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's my privilege and pleasure. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the artists that are coming, including Lee Henke, Ira Wolf. We've heard from both of them today on the program. But I want to hear from you, Crisi. What was the impetus behind HarborFest? And give us a thumbnail sketch of how it was born.
Sure, absolutely. My husband and I, Chad, grew up in a small town in California. Both of us had big Independence Day, 4th of July celebrations. The whole town came to it. There were parades, pageants, vendor booths, music. It just was the thing that everybody drove home for every 4th of July, whether you had left for college or moved away with your own family. Everyone came home on 4th of July, and it was a big event and big deal. And so when we relocated to Homer, I think 6 years ago, full time to be here, we just felt like there was a longing for that community, that event where people would just want to come home, spend time with family, and celebrate their freedom and their independence together. And so as we watched Seward and Seldovia kind of develop their 4th of July events, and people were in the habit of going to those, we just kept saying, why isn't Homer doing something here that is an outreach for everybody in the community to come together, have fun together, have an event to go to, and be something that can support an ongoing need in the community. And so that was the birth of HarborFest. It was a conversation that started a year ago, and now we are bringing it to fruition for its first annual event, and it will happen every year going forward from now.
That is really cool. I'm glad I asked that, because I wondered, and I thought, well, let's talk about the event. And I was like, wait a minute, let's back up, because, I've had ideas. A lot of people, we have ideas, and then to get it, though, across that line of from thought to start and then now actually to launching, I applaud you for that, because it's not easy. I know that. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Talk to me about the beneficiary of this event. Obviously, it is the community writ large. We're all going to benefit from having these really amazing national acts come here and perform and this festivity. But who's the charity that you're supporting this year?
So this year, and it could change from year to year, but this year is Bearded Sister, and it's founded in the honor of Connor Calderwood, and he's a dear friend, his little brother, and we kind of saw them. They used to own Spit Sisters, they own a local charter, and we saw them really investing in the community for dealing with opioid abuse, overdose, and substance abuse in general. And so they have started the Bearded Sister Foundation here in Homer, and it has paired with the Opioid Task Force here in Homer, and they are trying to make a difference, supporting the hospital to be an intervention point for opioid overdose, or an intervention from the first step. Usually people who are struggling with addiction end up in the hospital as their first stop, and they're trying to create a platform and an intervention location that can support the hospital and help people on the path to recovery. We realize that it's a community interest that needs to be able to step in and help and be able to react to situations when we see somebody in need and in crisis. And so this year's event is sponsoring the Bearded Sister Foundation to help them get a kickoff for what they're trying to do. And we have a lot of ongoing support going forward from the hospital, and SVT has come alongside us to partner this year. And we have some great sponsorship that just really wants to make a difference in our community here in Homer. We're the end of the road, and we realize that for some people it literally can be the end of the road, and we want to help them through that process.
That's really cool. I'm really glad we're having this conversation, because I've been hearing your ads on these great radio airwaves. I've been seeing some flyers and some stuff on Facebook, but really peeling back the onion here and talking to you, Crisi Matthews. By the way, you're listening to On Top of the World Radio. Chris Story here in conversation with Crisi Matthews. We are talking about Harbor Fest, and I don't care where you are listening. You could be over in Kodiak right now, or up in Delta Junction, Fort Greeley, maybe that area, Seward. Come on down. Homer, next week. Crisi, talk about the event on the 4th of July. What are we going to experience?
So on the 4th of July, we're closing down our parking lot at the boardwalk, and we are bringing a 30-foot stage. We have different local acts as well as some national acts coming to play music all throughout the day from noon to 10 p.m. We'll have a vendor fair with some food trucks and some local vendors, as well as some coming up from Sterling and as far down as from Matanuska Valley. We have the Alaska Dream Center, which we're really excited to support. They're an intervention location that already provides some intervention support for people with substance abuse. They're coming down to sell some kettle corn. So we have a lot of different people who are excited about this event, who are coming down to provide music all day, vendors, crafts. We have a sandcastle contest, a Homer's Got Talent kid talent show going on. Coast Guard's going to come and post their colors. The national anthem will be sung. We are just making this an annual patriotic event where the community can come and celebrate together independence and freedom. And that's what we're all about.
I'm telling you, that's awesome. You just sold me. I was like, well, what are we going to do on the 4th? I know now. It's called the Harbor Fest. Crisi Matthews, where can we go online and learn more about this?
So we have a Facebook page called Homer Harbor Fest. It has vendor applications there. You can reach us through Facebook. We found that if you come by the store out on the Spit, Homer Shores Boardwalk, we have the flyers and signups there. If you want to provide a booth or an informational booth, a craft booth, or you just want to be part of Homer's Got Talent, we're taking the signups all through Facebook. It just seems like the easiest global way for people to all communicate about the event and get the information down to the hour of what's happening that day.
All right. Thank you, Crisi Matthews. Thank you and your family. You mentioned the boardwalk, and a lot of people know exactly where it is, but it's formerly known as the Thompson Boardwalk, if you know it as that, and it's right across from the harbor. Literally cannot miss it. July 4th, it's the place to be, Homer Harbor Fest. Crisi, thank you.
Thanks. I'll just add in one last thing. The harbor's opening up their gravel pit for extra parking. So if you feel like you don't know where to park, fall over to the harbor side, and they have extra parking there for overflow.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Crisi. Great job.
Thanks so much. All right. Bye-bye now.
Really cool. You know how many times you have an idea? It happens to me all the time. Like, we've been talking about doing the Smoked Salmon Festival, but you actually pull something off like this, it's a minor miracle. It's a lot of work. It takes people just like Crisi. Did you hear the energy there? That's the energy that it takes to put something like this on. And I'm really looking forward to it. I hope to see you there.
Ruby, she was made for going west, did not protest my wandering ways. Ruby, she was pretty as they come, 28 years young and unafraid. She gave me shelter on the coldest nights, shaded me on summer days, and I had never known my place before, but that's what Ruby soon became. Wasn't good at going fast, and the patience that I lacked, I learned to grow. 'Cause Ruby had a way of breaking down, leaving me out there on the road. But she gave me shelter on the coldest night, Yes, I knew it all the time. She was never mine to keep. She gave me shelter